pray, follow me. What else needs doing?
Have you business with the guild, sir? I should be glad to assist you.
Mhm. Yeah. For the day. For the day. What?
Do come again.
Our strategy for safeguarding the Arisen during incantations shall prove key.
Welcome. Well met, son. How might I be of service?
This really is fun.
Come take a look. You'll be glad. You did. Do come again.
Come, I'll lead the way.
Welcome to... And quality's what you need if you want to survive.
Was it Hetty?
So before you check the price, just remember, hope to see you again.
This might be worth a read.
A thorough perusal might reveal aught of it.
What did you think of that story? 'Twas well told and all, but not particularly exciting, eh? I mean, it's the sort of thing you hear bandied about the tavern. I'd heard tell of a beggar doing well for himself, so I came out here to learn his ways. And by the look of it, he doesn't appear to be making much for his efforts, neither. So where's all his coin coming?
Follow along at your own pace, Master. I shan't leave you behind.
It was a fascinating... tale those soldiers outside the palace were discussing.
Regarding the Queen Regent and an important personage, you mean?
Aye. Telly's her time. is to this figure from the neighbouring country have a romantic tint.
I have no issue falling asleep, even...
Mm-hmm.
Now we've the vim to tackle the day ahead.
Off we go then.
A new day, a new perspective. Over here, if you would.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller.
Aye, got some coin to spare your humble? Much appreciated.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero...
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
After you, Arisen?
And who the asker? Why, the beast! An uncanny affair, to say the least. Yet there was no time for shock and dismay, as "Answer my riddle," did the fearsome thing say. The trickery was clear. To respond meant certain doom.
Really now, you mustn't shirk your duty, lest you forget 'tis the Arisen we serve here.
I'm well aware of that, thank you.
Conquer his foe and banish it thence. With a single strike was the towering beast repelled, to quail in fear at the mortal strength it beheld. Such is the legacy of Lord Rosamond, who, needless to say, was the father of House Berkeley, which lives on to this day. This looks
I'll set out on my own adventure someday.
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero drew his blade, unto him a demand was made. And who the asker? Why, the beast! An uncanny affair, to say the least. Yet there was no time for shock and dismay, as, "Answer my riddle," did the fearsome thing say. The trickery was clear. To respond meant certain doom. But in the midst of his answer, he'd doubtless be consumed. So a mighty attack did our hero dispense, to conquer his foe and banish it thence. With a single strike was the towering beast repelled, to quail in fear at the mortal strength it beheld. Such is the legacy of Lord Rosamond, who...
As I recall, the location of another of our tasks is not far from here.
Efficiency is not the only factor worthy of consideration.
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero drew his blade, unto him a demand was made. And who the asker? Why, the beast! An uncanny affair.
I'd heard tell of a beggar doing well for himself, so I came out here to learn. So where's he get his coin then? Makes a man.
Pray, follow me.
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller.
Quite the predicament.
Home at last!
Welcome home, young master.
Thank you, Diana. I am glad to be back. 'Twas a hard journey, but I found what I sought. A blue sunbright, the sigil of our house. I only hope Mother will be pleased.
Oh, a blue sunbright. I thought they were make-believe.
Oh no, they're quite real. Rather rare, though, and particularly to Melv. I'm surprised.
Really? Well, there's a picture of one stuck to the inner cover of a book that was donated to the Gracious Hand. I asked Sir Kendrick about it. He told me the flower's name.
A picture, you say?
I believe Miss Daphne is describing a bookplate. The book in question will have been a donation from this very house. Indeed, the mistress has been very generous in her support of the Gracious Hand over the years.
For true? Oh, I must tell her thank you.
I think I could arrange that. I'm certain my mistress would be delighted.
Yes. Well, as for me, I'm just...
All this racket! What's going on? Good gracious, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, You must be the lady who's been supporting the Gracious Hand. Thank you ever so much for—
What precisely have you told this girl?
Not a word, mistress. I swear it.
Good. As for you, girl, you need not thank me. 'Tis the privilege of the nobility to help those who are less fortunate. Now, 'tis getting late. You had best be off. Do be sure to leave the house unseen. And fare you well, child. Know that where'er life may lead you, you may take pride in who you are. Come, Diana. I would speak with you alone. You have some explaining to do.
What was that all about? Mother seemed awfully perturbed.
I do wonder what that was all about, though I'm not sure we ought to pry.
I've not the words for this conclusion.
What's going on? Doesn't seem right, this.
I'm afraid not.
I took you for a kinder sort than that.
To think the lady here has been supporting— Are all the nobles so kind?
'Tis a relief. What was that all about? Mother...
Fly. And as funny as it may seem, no. Looking down at us. Ain't no way King Von going to heaven. Hell yeah. Boy's a demon. Ain't no way.
There's a ladder here.
Perhaps new discoveries await us above.
Suppose I could visit someplace new.
Welcome. I end up feeling weary even after a day of rest.
Might as well hang about. I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Stomach's complaining. I'll have an early supper.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Now to report to Captain Brandt.
Welcome to... We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I pour... Come back any time.
See. I thank P. Diddy.
There is much we ought to tend to. If we are to strengthen, do not forget that we work to serve the city.
Mm-hmm.
There is much we ought to tend to. If we are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. Aught shall change once we have attended the coronation. If your Majesty has any unfinished business to attend to, 'tis best you do so afore we depart.
Oh yeah, he did that shit. That nigga's guilty. Mm-hmm. Go to a place you can't get extradited from. To Barbados, just like Russell Simmons. Yeah, pretty much. I really want to do that.
Very well. The coronation is to take place on the morrow. We shall depart early in the morn, so your Majesty would do well to get a good night's rest.
Master, pray leave this place. My body, it refuses to obey me. There is a voice within my mind. It commands me, sways my very will.
Sways your will? Could it be that the gods sway? We must quit this place, your Majesty. I fear our plans may fall to naught. Let us return to the tavern. We've been had. The false sovereign commanded the pawns at the coronation, proving his own power as a risk. According to Regent King Sven, the pretender was wearing some sort of lavish necklace at the time. I imagine this artifact is the godsway mentioned in that letter. Perchance 'tis a tool that grants power akin to that of the true arisen. 'Twould do much to explain the events that we have beheld afore now. Alas, unless we find some way to unmake this Godsway's power, proving your majesty's legitimacy shall be prey. Allow me time to search for a way forward. I shall inform your majesty when I have prepared a plan of action.
Never could I have imagined such an outcome. What manner of artifact is this Godsway? I suppose 'tis pointless to ponder. Let us await the results of Captain Brandt's investigation.
Right you are.
Got any tales to liven up?
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
After you, Arisen?
Welcome to the start. We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I... Always a pleasure. Welcome to the... We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I pour you a cup to... Always a pleasure.
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero left off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero drew his blade, unto him a demand. An uncanny affair, to say the least.
Aye, I'm well...
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero left off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero drew his blade, unto him a demand was made. And who the asker? Why, the beast! An uncanny affair, to say the least. Yet there was no time for shock and dismay, as, "Answer my riddle," did the fearsome thing say. The trickery was clear. To respond meant certain doom. But in the midst of his answer, he'd doubtless be consumed. So a mighty attack did our hero dispense, to conquer his foe and banish it thence. With a single strike was the towering beast repelled, to quail in fear at the mortal strength it beheld. Such is the legacy of Lord Rosamond, who, needless to say, was the father of House Berkeley, which lives on to this day. Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And much appreciated. Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story...
I'd heard tell of a beggar, so where's he get his coin then?
Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you, nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close. Today I shall tell of a serpent with powers most fell. Our hero ventured into a shrine long enclosed, whereupon he found serpent and soldiers in battle opposed. Though to the soldiers' aid he would fain have leapt, unease overtook him, so behind a pillar he crept. And not a moment too soon, for there came a flash of light, ere the room filled with screams, soldiers wailing at their plight. Then the shrine grew deathly still, and our hero was all alone.
Unless I am much mistaken, we have cause to visit a place not far from here.
Shall we head there now? 'Twould save us having to make the trip again.
The man crept up to the pillar upon which it was entwined. Seeing his moment, he unsheathed his blade and brought the pillar low in a thundering cascade. The gloating serpent was caught by surprise.
There's a ladder here.
Perhaps new discoveries await us above.
Mustering swiftly the last of its might, to the depths of the shrine did the monster take flight. Thus, with a wit as sharp as his sword was honed, did our hero put an end to the threat imposed. And who was our hero? Why, needless to say, 'twas the father of House Berkeley, which lives on to this day. Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you, nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall tell of a serpent with powers most fell.
One day, I'm going to have
Gather round, much appreciated. Gather round, treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller.
Welcome to the... We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I pour you a... Come back any time.
Welcome as fine ale.
Perhaps a stroll from town.
Might head to market. I have need of a few things. Suppose that's enough for one day. Dead on my feet.
Not much going on here. Not much going on.
How might I be of service? Well met, son. How might I be of service?
Suppose that's enough for one day.
Shall we report this development to Captain Brandt? Here we are.
There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to regarding the matter of the Godsway. I fear there is naught to be done, save for your majesty to venture to Batal, where you might uncover the false sovereign's secrets directly. The sigil upon that letter from some days past bore the crest of the Batali Palace. Surely there's aught to be found therein. Yet official dealings twixt Batal and Vermund are suspended. Passing through their fortress will prove a difficult task. With such hindrances in mind, I thought to prepare this. Pray, take it. Few may pass through Batal's fortress, save Beastren merchants. With some coin, I was able to convince one such merchant to grant us that entry permit. It ought guaranteed passage through the border checkpoint, but alas, 'tis intended for a Beastren. You shall have to act the part, but as to how that should be done, I'm shamed to say I do not know. 'Twill depend upon...
Sir Fulvio, the artist whose service Sir Clark commissioned, is residing in Batal. Shall we go and meet with him? I take it you've some business with this person. Then pray, follow me.
Well, if you insist. I'm only glad I don't have to lead the way for a change.
You the Arisen? I've been looking for you. Sven wants to meet with you. Says he'll be waiting in his quarters.
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
After you, Arisen?
Where are you off to?
Over here, if you please. Come, I'll lead the way.
Something good will come of today. I just know it.
A treasure chest. Shall we see if we can't make our way over to it?
We're hardly so destitute as to shun an ox cart's services. What say we ride one to our destination?
A most agreeable suggestion. Of course, the Arisen shall have the final say in the matter.
Are you in the market for something in particular? Do come again.
Oh, yes? I possess no ill intent, I assure you. Those of other races differ so in design from our own, you see. I cannot deny I am curious about them. That's all 'tis, mind, curiosity. I have no desire to actually own one of these contraptions, and even if I did, it isn't as if I could purchase one. It would be unseemly for an elf to aspire to such a thing. No matter how they fascinate me, 'tisn't to be. You would simply give this to me? Oh, that is most generous. I would gladly accept it. You have my gratitude. Fascinating. 'Tis not dissimilar from an elven bow in make, and yet 'tis unlike one in near every respect. Such as this bowstring. It looks quite the same, but the tension is altogether different. I suppose that comes from using different materials. Why do you stare? Perhaps you find it absurd that I should marvel so at a bow, not of elven make. I suppose I sought inspiration, for I confess I find myself rather lost. My aim has suffered of late. The timing could not be more unwelcome, as my skill with a bow is to be... Forgive me. I should not expect you to know of our ways. I speak of the trial of... Every elf undergoes this trial when they reach maturity. Till we succeed, we are not considered to have come of age. I have been training most diligently, yet my skills ne'er seem to take shape. Indeed, I fear my aim has only worsened with each new failing. I grew so vexed with myself that I sought to learn a foreign form of archery rather than master my own people, thanks to you. I now have the means to do so, though I dare say I shan't make any headway on my own. Say, would you be willing to give me... It might be just what I need to find my aim. Please, sir, many thanks, but this is no place to practice. Would you be so kind? That's where I train, you see. I'll be able to... I do hope you'll join me.
There's a ladder here.
Perhaps new
Your current vocation is ill-suited to wielding a bow, Master.
I suppose 'tis so.
Displaying bowmanship for an elf. My hand would tremble on the string if 'twere me, but I expect you'll do just fine. Follow me. I will guide you to the location.
The vanguard is yours. Lead on.
I've just about had my fill of this ruckus.
Over here, if you would.
Somehow my feet always carry me.
Fancy a look at my wares?
Someone having a laugh?
Fancy a look at my wares?
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
After you, Arisen? Your current vocation is ill-suited to wielding a bow, Master.
Indeed, you are correct.
Trust in yourself as I trust in you!
This can't be happening.
I see life as a journey, to be walked a day at a time.
Oh there, faring all right? Suppose I'd best get to work.
Fancy a look at my wares?
Not much going on here about. Glad this has been pretty kind to me.
Well met, son. How might I be of service?
'Tis this way.
Lots to do.
I end up feeling weary.
Well, how might I be of service? Fancy a look at my wares?
I'll take any chance not to be on my trouble.
Pray, follow me.
Well met, son. How might I be of service?